Ready to make tea?
Ready to make tea.
The British way?
The British way.
Hello and welcome to the Darling Academy. If we haven't met before, my name is Alena Kate Pettitt. I am the founder of the Darling Academy and the author of Ladies Like Us and English Etiquette, and I am here today with the woman who made me, my mother. She's called Winnie, and we are making some videos today for our private Facebook group. It's a ladies only Facebook group for homemakers and traditional housewives from all over the world, isn't it?
Yep.
All different ages. Some of them have been housewives for a long time, and some of them are aspiring housewives. There's a lot of aspiring housewives.
Yes, I have noticed that,
Yeah, so if you'd like to join us, we chat about all things homemaking, marriage, child rearing, baking.
Baking, cook, yeah, anything really.
All those things. Yeah, we'd love to have you join us. So click on the link below and request to join. And it would be fantastic to have you. And one of the very first things that actually, because I posed the question to the group, didn't I? What would you like us to make a video on? And they said, please could you make tea and show us how to do it? Because unless you've been living under a rock, there's been a viral video recently of a lady who made British tea, and this is not making fun of the lady, because do you know what, you can drink your tea however you want to drink it.
Tea comes in various forms and people like it in completely different ways.
Yes.
From what I call peekaboo tea, which is literally you say peekaboo with the tea bag, with the water,
baby tea.
yeah, to proper what we call builder's brew, which is where it's extremely strong and the teaspoon could probably stand up in the tea, and so it comes in various sort of forms, various sort of strengths.
Yeah.
But yeah, the video that went viral, it's more about addressing how it was made and the fact that it was referred to as British tea.
I think that's why the British got so upset about it, because you can't call that British tea.
No.
And there are very few tea experts actually, and we all have our own ideas about how it's made, but there is almost a bog standard general way that it's made. When you go to somebody's house, they'll ask how you take your tea.
Yes.
And they'll say, do you want sugar, do you want milk? But it's standard. I think we're most concerned about the colour, aren't we?
Yes, well, I mean, we eat with various different senses, and so for me, when I make myself a cup of tea, it's very much about the colour.
Yes.
So if it's extremely weak, then to me, that's not gonna, or again, if it's extremely strong.
Yeah.
So I kind of go mid-range. I think there is a chart that you can find on the internet, which has
various tones of tan,
which have different tones, and you can kind of gauge which one you go. It's like toast as well.
It is. I'll try and find one of those charts and link it below for you so that you can see. Yeah. And also, when you also go to someone's house, especially if they don't know you very well and they make you a cup of tea first, they'll make one. And I've had several comments that say nobody drinks tea in a mug. Yes, we do. We
do. I think in general, every single day, for daily drinking.
Daily casual drinking.
Casual drinking, it's in a mug.
Yeah, if you're trying to impress company, I think that's when you get the china out, isn't it?
That's when you get the china
because
out.
Because it's a faff. Sometimes we survive on tea, so we want to have it all day, every day, and get it in us as quick as possible. So it's literally from kettle.
And as much as possible.
As much as possible, exactly. So it's tea bag, kettle, mug. Bosh, there we go. And then when you go to someone's house for the first time, they'll present this tea to you and they'll go, is the colour all right?
Does it look okay?
Does that dash more milk? It's always like you're frightened, aren't you?
Yes.
Because it's so individual. Yes. So we're going to make a cup of tea first. There are several ways you can do it. You can do it with loose leaf tea, which you would put a couple of teaspoons. I put a teaspoon per person and one for the pot,
yes.
In a teapot, and you need to warm the teapot first with some boiling water. Boil the kettle again, pour the hot water out put the loose tea in and then put hot water in, but that takes so long. It makes it for a nicer cup of tea.
Yes, I mean it's it's a process, and so if you've got, and again there are different types of teas, and so some are quite happy living in a tea bag type material, and some like loose teas, depending on you can get different blends. You can get different blends as well, and so it lends itself to have that process. I think it's almost like a sort of like a Chinese tea ceremony. It's kind of bordering on that.
And tea connoisseurs will prefer to drink their tea that way.
And again, I mean, with loose tea, you can put it into a pot and use a strainer like this.
Yes. So what you would do is you would put your loose tea into the pot, put your water over it, and steep it for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The tea specifically will tell you on the packaging what the ideal steeping time is, and then because you've got it's like leaves and dust almost, isn't it?
Yes.
You would
put your strainer or hold your strainer over.
Obviously it's done a bit more delicately and a bit posher than this, and then you pour the water through the strainer, which will allow the water to go through and catch the tea leaves. And then, this is my personal preference, then you add the milk. If I was having sugar, would you do this? I put the sugar in first so that the hot water melts the sugar.
And that's how I do it.
Yeah, and I do that whether I do tea bag tea in a mug or anything like that. Yes, and then tea, so I've got here, we won't be having this tea because it's Earl Grey, Mum doesn't like Earl Grey.
No, it's too weak for me. And too floral. I don't like I like a herbal tea, but I don't like Earl Grey. To me, it's not a flavour that
it's bergamot. It's like a strong orange kind of.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just not a flavour that I enjoy.
This is my favourite actually. This one's got lavender in it as well. Actually, a friend sent this to me. One of my ladies on Instagram sent me that. Nice. So it's actually very nice. Thank you, Esther. But we won't be having that because my mum rejects it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to show you as well another quick emergency loose leaf tea hack. Is what I sometimes do is I use a coffee. What's this called? This is it's not percolator.
It's not a percolator. No, it's a. That's a very good question. It's gone out of my mind. What it is?
Oh, we're having a proper brain fart.
Oh, we are. Yes.
I call it plunger coffee. I say to my husband, do you want a plunger coffee? One of these, anyway, both of them, because it's got the inbuilt mesh and strainer, so you can put your loose tea in the bottom, fill it up with water, allow it to steep, obviously put the lid on, and then you can do that. Obviously it's not going to look as fancy and as nice.
You can actually get these in teapot form. So you can actually get one
Bodum,
of these
who makes this, do a teapot as well.
Yes.
So you can do it like that. It doesn't look as fancy, but at a loose end, that's what you can do.
Yeah.
So we'll put that away, and we should probably get on making a tea because we're going to have cold tea.
Cold tea, yes.
Right, so I actually haven't warmed the pot because I can't go and empty it. So we're just going to make the tea. So we have a kettle that is boiled. What's the temperature on that? Is it under boiling? You don't want like super boiling hot water. You want it just under. So mine has got a temperature gauge, so that's probably about 95 degrees or 90 degrees.
It's about 90 now.
About 90
it's been sat
degrees,
here for a few
exactly.
minutes.
Yeah, so that's all right. Some people like it scalding hot, I don't know, but I don't.
I like mine hot.
Yeah. Sorry. You can have a lukewarm cup of tea. I'll make you another one after this.
No, it's absolutely fine.
So we're drinking decaf tea because Mum drinks decaf, and we are adding one for Mum, one for me, and one for the pot. And you do that regardless of how many people you've got, unless you've got 10, in which case you need a couple of teapots.
Yes. Yeah. You need a couple of teapots.
But it's the general idea is one per person and one for the pot.
Yes.
So because we love our teapots, we want them to have a cup of tea as well.
Yeah.
And then also someone mentioned in the Facebook group the other day about never cleaning the teapot. Did you see that conversation?
I did. Yes.
How did you feel about it? Because apparently the tannins in the tea add to the teapot. Can you see that I'm trialling it?
Oh yes.
I've only just rinsed this.
Oh,
like with hot boiling water.
Well, I can
understand.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. I mean, yes. I mean, it's not something that I've ever heard myself.
If you came around my house for the first time and saw that, would you think that's dirty?
Do you know? No, I've seen it many times in other people's houses.
Have you?
Yeah. I think if the teacups were like that, I would be a little bit...
Oh yeah, no.
No, but the teapot, I probably... But mind you, I would think that the teapot would already have the lid on, so I wouldn't even know what was...
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't know what's going on in there.
So pass me the kettle. Right, so now what we're going to do is... Are you doing it? Okay.
Yeah.
Mum's going to fill the teapot up, and then we've probably got about 3 minutes that we're going to need to wait, unless we're completely desperate and just pour it straight away, but then it will be...
Well, you could always stick a spoon in and give it a bit of a swirl.
Yeah, you can do that.
If you need to hurry a little bit, you could always, you know, stick a teaspoon in and give it a little bit of a swirl.
Exactly.
Which is what I tend to do when we go out and I have a pot of tea.
Like in a cafe.
In a cafe or something.
Yeah.
I would just give it a bit of a swirl, just to bring it on a little bit. So.
And tea etiquette dictates, although in casual settings, it's if you're out somewhere really posh, doesn't matter. But generally, there's one person who serves the tea. So usually it's the host. So I would say to Mum, milk and sugar?
Yes, please.
Yes, how many sugars?
One, please. Yes.
So then I would add that sugar to the empty teacup. And then on top of that, I would add the tea and then the milk. Now, there is a bit of a debate about whether milk goes first or tea goes first, but that's actually kind of a relic from very Downton Abbey era, where the upstairs people would have very fine bone china, and that could take the heat of the water first, and then they would add their milk. And downstairs they would have like thick, I think, stoneware or some types of mugs, whereas if you put hot water into those, they would crack. So they would add the milk first to kind of bring the temperature down.
Right, okay.
So snobby people would be, if they saw you putting milk in first, they'd be like, But it's all, nowadays, it's all down to preference.
It's all down to preference.
We're milk after people, aren't we?
We're milk after, yes. Because I think
we're very posh, aren't we?
For me, the reason why I don't put the milk in first but especially when you're making it with tea bags, is in a mug or whatever, is it's very difficult to, if the milk goes in first and you've put a tad too much in, it's almost like you're beating the tea bag up trying to get some colour into your tea.
Yeah.
And again, you know, it's the same with you know, a teapot. I think for me, I would allow it to steep a little bit, but I would probably just give it a little bit of a bash with a spoon and then pour it, but then the milk after means you can then get the colour, because
that you want.
For me it comes from the colour. It's quite important to me. I'm
going to let you add your own milk then.
Oh, that's fabulous. Yes, no, that pleases me very much. So only because it's for me, it's actually really quite important, the colour of my cup of tea, how much I enjoy it.
Don't pack it up when you give my mum a cup of tea. So what I would do as the hostess is, I think this is probably, we need to move this on. So I would say this is steeped enough now. So I would add the water, and then you leave a headspace of maybe a centimetre.
Yes.
At the top, and then I would hand it to my mother with I don't know if you can see this, but the spoon is at the top here, but I would hand it to my mum so that the handle is at her 3 and 6.
Yep.
So like that, so you can then grab the tea there.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you the best way to stir.
Okay.
According to etiquette.
Okie dokie.
So I'll just pour mine. And then, if you add your milk, but don't stir, and then I'll add mine. Add your milk. Oh, is this an issue for you?
This is a real issue for me.
First.
Sorry, but you have to stir as you're pouring the milk in, so you're getting the right...
Oh, do you? Oh, I don't do it that way. So, so I add... So some people as well, they say, would you like a dash of milk? And they literally do this.
That's...
No. I like a medium tan. I like a Saint-Tropez tan colour, not like a Bermuda... Hawaii, you've been out in the sun all the time tan.
Yeah, no.
But definitely not a British tan, because that just doesn't exist.
You just don't get one.
No, exactly. So I add the milk, and then you're supposed to stir 12 and 6. And it's not actually a stir, it's a backwards and forwards motion, and you don't want to hear any clunking like that. You want to just backwards and forwards. This is what posh people do. posh tea etiquette. So if you go to like Claridge's or Fortnum and Mason in the tea salon and you're trying to impress people or trying to fit in, basically, or if you just don't care, then clank it around. It doesn't really matter. But if you care about things like that, backwards and forwards, and then you don't do that, especially if it's fine bone china. If I had really expensive tea set and someone came around and did that to my tea service, I'd be like, ah!
Yeah.
So what you do is just a deft flick, just to get that last bit off.
Okay.
And then you put it back here at the top. And then you're supposed to bring the saucer with you all the time. So I'm supposed to be drinking my tea like this now, even at home, but I don't do that.
No. And I'll show you how I do my milk.
So you start and you're scraping the bottom.
And I'm scraping because I want to make sure that the sugar.
I was going to say you've got sugar in there. So
I've got sugar in, so I want to make sure that the sugar is actually dissolved. And actually, this is a tad too weak for me. I would want a little bit more colour in that.
So we've not stewed it long enough.
So we've not stewed it long enough for me.
It is a fine art.
It is a very fine art. So I would prefer a little bit more colour in my tea.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely fine. No, I'm actually going to drink it. It's absolutely fine. I will. Yes, I will absolutely. I will drink it, and then by the time we get to the second cup, it should be perfect.
I was going to say, get through that one quickly, and then that one will be the perfect one. Sometimes it's the second one that's the best. And also, Mum has really kindly bought some fudge that she's made, and I am a fudge fanatic.
Good.
I love fudge, and Mum says this recipe is really easy. So you said you're going to share it, aren't you?
Yeah, I can share the recipe. That it's very simple.
Yeah,
really simple.
So I'll link that below. We'll do that separately.
Yeah.
So I'll link that below. And you've made a salted caramel and a mint aero. And I don't know if they have mint aero in America.
You could use anything. Within the fudge itself, I've actually put some peppermint essence, so you can kind of get that. But anything that's sort of like a mint chocolate.
Yeah.
So if you can get a mint chocolate bar, you could always chop that up roughly and sprinkle that on top.
Or you could put nuts in or raisins.
Yeah, you can. I was going to do a fruit and nut one as well, but with a white chocolate.
Okay.
But
so it's open to adaptations as long as the base recipe's the same.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's very simple. It's a whole heap of chocolate. It's a can of condensed milk, and
which I hope you can get outside the UK. I'm not sure if I'm sure they will.
Yes, but apparently there's a way of also making. If you can only get evaporated milk, you can actually make condensed milk from it.
Oh, I think you boil the can in the thing. I'll look up those details and I will also link the alternatives that you can do to make it. So.
But they're very simple to make. The lengthy part of the process is waiting for it to set in the fridge.
Patience.
Yes, anywhere from 3 to 6 hours, but preferably overnight.
Okay.
So
all right. So, but that's a lovely hostess gift, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can package that up really nicely in like a gift box or like one of those little cellophane bags or something like that.
Yes, I mean, you can make lots of different varieties, and I mean, you can.
And a good school fete thing as well.
Oh, absolutely.
To make something for the school fete.
Definitely.
So, I don't know if you can see. Obviously. So we're going to enjoy this now. Mum's going to enjoy her weak cup of tea. I'm going to enjoy my perfect cup of tea. And we hope you've enjoyed this. We hope it's set the record straight on a few things.
Yes.
Again, we're not claiming to be experts, but we have drunk a lot of tea.
We've been making tea for many
collective years. Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So do make sure to check out the corresponding blog post, or if you're watching this on the blog, check out the links below that I've mentioned for recipes, etc. And don't forget to join the Traditional Housewives with the Darling Academy on Facebook if you'd like to chat. Mum and I are in there all the time, aren't we?
We are, yes. It's a lovely group.
It is
very welcoming, and a lot of helpful tips and
support.
More than anything else. I think that's what has really been established in this group. It's full of lots of lovely women and full of support.
Exactly. So right. Chin chin.
Chin chin.
Should we cheers it?
Cheers it. Let's do it. That's probably wrong.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh dear. Are we blonde?
Yeah. Well, I am.